Your life.
Gotcha. All right, class. Thank you for joining me for another one. Today, we are going to be diving into what a DAO is. So, you might have heard this term thrown around. You might have heard 19 Keys talk about DAOs, and it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And sometimes that can be kind of confusing when you hear people throwing it around and you see all these different projects saying, oh, we're starting a DAO. And you might be wondering, well, what the hell is that? We're going to break it down very simply for you. It's not that complex to understand when it's explained correctly. So, again, make sure you just get that acronym down. Decentralized Autonomous Organization. That's what a DAO stands for. So on the left hand side here, we have the traditional business structure. It's a hierarchy, right? We have someone at the top, maybe a board of directors or CEO, and we have some higher up managers and then lower level managers, and this hierarchy keeps going down and down, right? So this is how businesses are typically structured in a hierarchy. And it is centralized, where there are certain people who have this overarching power over that organization. Now, when we start thinking of a DAO, it's decentralized and it's based on community voting. So the actual customers or the community members or consumers, they are the ones who have a vested interest in making sure the company makes the right decision. So instead of somebody at the top making these big decisions, the community as a whole gets to vote on these decisions. So that's really the core essence of how a DAO is different from a traditional business structure. Okay, and in fact, there's one state, Wyoming in particular, that has legally recognized DAO as a business structure. And it's likely that more are going to follow. So you can go to Wyoming, you can set up a DAO or you can set up an LLC, right? They're along the same lines, but just different in how they actually operate. So more and more states are going to start adopting that. So let's take a look at how these decisions are actually made. So, first, the community is going to generate conversations and ideas about where they want to go with the project that they're working on. Once they've got to that point, they're going to start compiling options. So, keep in mind, although a DAO is decentralized, okay, there is still a core team who initially started the DAO. And those are going to be the people who are responsible for driving it forward and executing on these things. And they actually work there at the DAO. Nonetheless, we, as the people who own a stake in this DAO, are the ones who have those voting rights as far as what those people are going to do. So, in a way, it's kind of like, you know, how businesses will talk about, oh, we, the business owners or the founding members, we work for the customers. Well, in this case, they literally do, because the community members are the ones who are making these votes and decisions instead of somebody higher up in the company. So these options are compiled, and then votes are going to be cast by token holders. So that's how votes are cast. You know, people all the time making fun of NFTs, saying, oh, I can just screenshot it. Why don't you go ahead and screenshot an NFT that gives me voting rights into a DAO? It's not going to work that way. You won't have those voting rights. You might have that image, but you're not going to be able to cast a vote or have any say in the business decisions of that organization. And then at that point, we're going to have execution. Once those votes are compiled, there'll be a certain time limit where you have to put in your vote. And then once a decision has been reached, that's when the team is going to execute, or the community as a whole is going to execute. So let's walk through this process a little bit more clearly. So at this stage, when community are generating ideas and conversations, oftentimes that's going to take place inside of a Discord. For example, we're looking at the City DAO Citizen Discord. I'm going to tell you more about this project in a little bit, but I've already mentioned it a couple times before. So here they have, certain channels within the Discord that only NFT owners can see. And keep in mind, this might be confusing to some, but token holders. So this term token holders, that means both NFT holders, because remember, NFT stands for non-fungible token. So that is a token that's on the blockchain, just as an actual cryptocurrency would be considered a token as well. So some DAOs are going to be structured by you have to own a certain amount of the cryptocurrency, such as the Friends with Benefits DAO, and others are going to be, figured out by using how many NFTs you own. That will display your voting rights or your voting power. So, anyways, this is where that conversation is going to be generated. So people can come in here and talk about all these different ideas that they have on where they think that the organization should go. And in fact, this particular organization, they were talking about buying up the Kanye ranch because Kanye recently put his his ranch up for sale, right? And so they created this whole channel just where they were talking about that. They ended up not pursuing it, but they do have it archived here so people can come and look through that. But this is the type of conversation that gets things going, that gets people having these different ideas on the radar and might end up on some type of voting mechanism down the line. So yeah, Discord is going to be typically where those conversations or those ideas start to brew. And then if one catches on and a lot of people are liking it, then we'll move on to the next stage, which is where they compile the options and they actually offer a vote. So what we're looking at now is called snapshot.org. So this is where a lot of DAOs have their voting function. So you might have heard the term snapshot when people are talking about, hey, we're going to give this benefit to our holders. For example, that ENS token release. Let me pull that up. You might have seen this when Keys, he got a few thousand worth of this ENS token, and I got some as well. And so what this organization did is they took a snapshot of the holders who own one of these ENS domains on a certain date. And all a snapshot is, it's just a record of everybody who owns something at a particular day and time. That's all it is. So they took a snapshot on October 31st at whatever time, and then whoever happened to own one, whoever had their wallet on that list at that particular time, they were eligible to claim these ENS tokens. So that's what a snapshot is. And so snapshot.org allows DAOs to take a snapshot of their holders and then allow those who are snapshotted to come and vote. So that's how you know that you are eligible for a particular vote. And there's some here. Let me see. Oh, I think it already passed. But in certain cases, you may own one of these NFTs or one of these tokens that give you voting rights, but you may see that this button will actually say ineligible because you might have got it too late. So, for example, if I bought the City DAO Citizen NFT today, these would probably say ineligible. I couldn't vote on these because I didn't hold the NFT by a certain date, even though I'll own it now and I'll be eligible for future votes. But that's just the case if you buy a DAO's token a little too late. But anyways, so once you get snapshotted, you end up here and you don't have to do anything to get on that snapshot list. It happens automatically because all of these records are already on the blockchain. So anyways, then you can come in here, click on one of these votes, see some information about it. What type of voting, can you choose multiple or is it just one? And then you have the start date, the end date, so you know when you need to vote by. And then you can read all about the options that are listed here. And then you can click on approve or reject whatever they are proposing. And then you get to vote. Now, this person right here, this means they own 11 of these NFTs, 11 of the tokens. So they voted to reject it and they have the voting power of 11 people. Now, I only own one, so I only have the voting power of one. But you see a couple of these people own quite a few. And so they carry heavier voting power than I would. Let me check the chat if we got any questions. Where can I get ENS? I'll show you that real quick. So if you want to buy an ENS domain, you can come here and click on Go to App. And then you can just search whatever your particular domain is that you're looking for. So your username on YouTube is Family First Life. Let me check that, see if it's available. Hit search. And so these ENS domains end in .eth. Just like traditional domains would end in .com, these are ending in .eth. So ENS stands for Ethereum Name Services, which is why it ends in .eth. So you can come here, click on this, and then, I don't know why it's doing this, let me refresh. And then you would be able to register this domain if you wanted it. It's about $5 a year for most domains, but you do have to pay that gas fee. So keep that in mind. You'd have to pay around $150 in a gas fee. But again, if you wait 10 minutes, this could go a lot higher, could go a lot lower. You don't really know. And you do have to pay this gas fee every year to renew it. So I recommend that you turn this up and go at least 5 years and then pay that gas fee. Now, keep in mind, this does not mean you're going to now be eligible for those ENS token drops because, like I said, they already took their snapshot. There's no way that you can get on that snapshot after it's been taken. Now, if they do another one in the future, okay, then you could be on that list. And I don't know if they're going to do another one. Now, if you want to buy just the actual ENS token, then you can go to a website called Uniswap. You can go to Uniswap and you can buy the token here. What you would do is you just search up ENS. In this case, you want to put that on the bottom. Then you can select whatever token that you want to pay in. So in this case, Ethereum. And then you can just hit max, and then you'll be able to trade your Ethereum for ENS. And keep in mind, you are going to have to pay a gas fee in this case as well. Hope that answered your question. Gas fees are insane. And look, they're working on it. They are working on it. They're trying to bring those down and make them more reasonable. And I'm optimistic for the future of Ethereum. But yeah, them gas fees going to hit you upside the head. They can get nasty. Anyways, coming back, we went over where this community idea generation is going to happen, typically on Discord. But again, it's going to vary community by community. Maybe sometimes it'll be on Twitter. Maybe it'll be on a Telegram or some other platform. But traditionally, so far, at least we're still very early in this world, it's been via Discord. And then they compile those best options, the ones people are most drawn to, and then they cast those votes by the token holders, and then the team will move forward and execute on it. So just to reiterate, the tokens are going to function as your voting power inside of a DAO. And those tokens, they can be NFTs or they could be a particular number of coins. I actually want to look up friends with benefits tokens. So with this project, this has gained quite a bit of notoriety. And it's something that I wish I was in, but I am not in. Found out about it a little too late. So yeah, you have to own a certain amount, and I forget what that amount is, but I'm sure it's listed here somewhere. You have to own a certain amount of these tokens to really be a part of that voting community. So this could be a project that y'all might want to look into. I believe Keys might have mentioned it and might even have some of these himself. Nonetheless, this could be something that interests you. Yeah, it looks like you have to have 75 of the tokens to get into the Discord. You can get into events for 5 of them, but you get the idea. These just function as their tokens, as their voting rights, and as access to these various places within the DAO. Let's talk about the benefits of a DAO. Okay, because sure, you can go and create one, but keep in mind, it's not always going to make sense for every business model, right? It's not always going to be relevant. Let me look at these comments real quick. Unstoppable domains, you can get a .crypto address. Rumors around the streets, they may do an airdrop. Yeah, Debbie, I think that just might be your internet connection or your resolution, because it looks like the screen's fine for other people. Let me talk about unstoppable domains real quick. Unstoppable domains, and they are having a deal tomorrow actually, where you can get I think you buy one get one free. And so these just come with different domain extensions. So the ENS domains, they come with a .eth extension, and these come with .zil, .crypto, .coin, .wallet. Which one is better? Again, I don't really know. I personally prefer the .eths, and I do believe that there's an energy shifting towards the .eth becoming more of the .com of the blockchain. There's a lot of people, especially on Twitter, who are changing their usernames and handles to username .eth. And I just see a lot more adoption in that realm. But unstoppable domains are cool too. And I recommend you get some intellectual property of yourself and others on both of these platforms. I own my .crypto and I own my .eth, as well as someone else's .crypto. But anyways, this is a cool resource. I just made a post on my Instagram about this Cyber Monday deal that they have going on tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Definitely would recommend this. And again, somebody has mentioned that there's rumors about an airdrop for owning one of these. I don't know. It could very well be. I would not put that past them. All right, let me get back to it. All right, so here's some of the benefits, and this is primarily from the lens of the consumer. Democratic governance of an organization. So again, you will have voting rights. If you really care about this brand, this company that you are a part of, you now have voting rights as far as what that organization is going to do. Doesn't mean you're always going to get your way, but at least you will have a legitimate say, because plenty of businesses say that we want to hear feedback from our customers. We want y'all to inform our decisions, but they don't truly have a mechanism for executing on that, for proving that they are listening. And DAOs truly do have that. So you get a say in what they're going to do, who they're going to hire, how much they're going to pay these people in some cases. But again, you're not going to have a decision on every single minute detail, but some of these bigger decisions, for sure, for sure. This DAO also reduces organizational friction, because if we look at this over here, the traditional structure, you got to go through all these people. So if a decision happens down here at the bottom, right? Some employee comes up with a great idea and has to go up the chain all through these people, and everybody has to give it the green light in order to get to the head, who can still say no if they want. So with this structure, there's an idea here in the middle. Everybody sees it. Everybody gets to vote on it. So there's much less friction in most cases when you have a DAO set up, when you have that type of structure. Increased buying power through fractionalized ownership. So a lot of these DAOs are going to have a treasury. So when you first launch that NFT, when you first launch your token, you're going to generate a lot of income for that DAO, a lot of revenue. And a portion of that is probably going to be used to pay the DAO's team, the founding team. But a bigger portion of that is almost always going to go into the DAO's treasury. Matter of fact, let me show you a good example. Constitution. Yeah. So this is a DAO that was trying to buy a copy, one of the few copies of the U.S. Constitution. So they raised a few $1,000,000 in order to make a bid on it, but they ended up getting outbid when the time came. But this was a cool example of a big group of people getting very passionate behind the project and being able to raise a few $1,000,000 just from those token sales so that they can put forward to owning this copy of the Constitution as a community. So that Constitution would have been fractionalized amongst the community, and everybody would have had a little bit of voting rights as far as what they do with that. So that's another example. Y'all can pool this money, and then you can go out and buy assets. Maybe you want to go and buy some virtual land. Maybe you want to go buy a CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape. That's something that you can do in this DAO situation. And there's other platforms that allow that, such as Party Bid, that will allow you to have this fractionalized ownership and increase your buying power. But DAOs is a more intimate setting in most cases. I've noticed big companies are investing, and I assume that you're talking about investing in the metaverse. And yes, absolutely. Bored Ape Yacht Club is now having a partnership with Adidas. Nike's into Roblox now. Absolutely. I think that's dope how we have a voice in the community saying, for sure. Oh, Pleasure DAO purchased the Wu-Tang album. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, DAOs are gonna, we've only scratched the surface of what these DAOs are gonna do. I'm super, super excited. Revenue share. So this is not going to be applicable to every DAO, but some of them will say, hey, you're going to get a percentage of all the revenue that we generate from these various lines of businesses. And again, that revenue share would be proportional in most cases to the amount of tokens that you hold. So keep that in mind as well. More transparency in business. So this is kind of a peace of mind for a lot of investors, because when we invest in a company stock, we don't always know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what decision that business is going to make next that could tank it or could make it skyrocket. But with a DAO, oftentimes we have a much more intimate setting and intimate inside look as far as what this business is planning to do. So that can be a good sign. Maybe you see that the votes are swinging in one direction and you think that's going to be a very bad direction. Maybe you want to sell. Maybe you want to get out of that project before that next step, that decision is actually executed on if you don't believe in it. So that could be something that is very appealing to us consumers or us investors, as we get an insider look inside what this business is going to be doing next. And it's also cool that you can just partake in an organization's growth and development from the beginning. Sometimes if you want to get into an ICO or an IDO, the launch of these big companies, you have to have maybe a certain standing. You have to know somebody. You have to have access or a certain amount of capital. But oftentimes these DAOs allow just about anybody who has a few $100 to get inside the beginning, the inception of an organization, and ride it out until it exits or until it ends or until they just want to get out of the project, which is very, very cool. Now we're going to look at two examples. Let me make sure we ain't got no questions in the chat. And yeah, feel free, ask me questions in this chat if so we can make sure that DAOs are making sense to everybody. So this first one that I want to cover, the Enigma Economy DAO. So this project enables NFT holders the ability to stake their NFTs to take part of a cryptocurrency mining operation and earn passive income in crypto. And this is what Keys talks about, these type of opportunities. How can you start earning cryptocurrency instead of just buying it? Like he says, that's kind of a backwards way of thinking if we always are just buying cryptocurrency. But when you can come and start earning cryptocurrency, that is a big, big opportunity. So these NFTs, the miners, they function as voting rights as far as what that crypto operation is going to mine, who the company is going to hire, how they're going to scale, and more. So let me open this up. I'll look inside my wallet, and I do own two of these. OpenSea's been kind of slow today. I don't know if y'all have been on it at all, but typically that's a good sign. It means a lot of people are using it. It's getting overloaded, but it is still unpleasant. Okay, here we go. So here is the project right here. And if y'all are interested in this, check their Twitter because I believe they are doing like a live stream or a spaces tonight where they're going to talk more about the project and what they have some type of big announcement. I don't know what it is though. But anyways, you own one of these, and depending on the level of rarity that you own, you're going to have a certain hash rate, a certain percentage that you're able to tap into the cryptocurrency mining power of this crypto mining operation. And so you'll be entitled to a certain proportion of whatever is mined on a monthly basis. So that's the principle behind this whole project. But in addition to that, they function as a DAO. So we do get voting rights. So if you own one of these, okay, you get one vote. If you own two, then you're going to get two votes and so on. It's very, very simple. So you can see here on Snapshot, I am a part of this community. And we've already had a handful of these decisions, right? They've only launched like two and a half weeks ago, something like that. And we've had a handful of these votes already. And right here's an example of them asking us, what do you want us to mine? So the initial plan was we're going to start mining Bitcoin early on, and then we're going to transition to Ethereum primarily. But the project didn't launch as expected. It was kind of a rocky launch. A lot of people were spreading FUD and talking all the shit about the project, but they still had an overall successful launch, and I'm super excited to be in this project. But they did have to make that pivot where they couldn't necessarily afford to go to the scale of Bitcoin mining that they initially wanted to. And so we're trying to make this transition. But instead of them just making an executive decision saying, okay, we're not going to do this, we're going to totally change from what we initially said, they asked the community. And they asked us, would it be possible, would y'all be comfortable with allowing us to make a small adjustment and mine a different currency instead of Bitcoin or Ethereum, at least to start? And then we're going to transition to Ethereum because that is the primary focus. So we got to say in that. And as you can see, most of the people were saying, hey, anything that works best. We just want to get this mining operation up and running as fast as possible. And so that's how it went. That's how it went. So you can see most people did vote for that. Let's see if there's another one. Then we have like a secondary release, and we get to have an opinion on what we want to see that structured like. Let me check the comments again. Jared, are you part of a DAO? Yes. You probably asked this a little bit before I answered it, but yes, I'm part of the Enigma economy, which is what we're looking at now. And then I'm part of the City DAO one because I own one of these. And I'm also in the Rarible protocol. So if y'all have ever used protocol, I'm assuming most of y'all have. And if not, then a lot more of y'all have after buying 19 Keys NFT. You may be entitled to getting an airdrop essentially of their tokens. And so let's pull Rarible up. You get these rewards. I forget how frequently, but as you interact with the Rarible platform, as you buy, sell, and create NFTs, you're going to be entitled to a portion of, I think it's a monthly airdrop of some of their platform's currency, which is Rari, I think. But you once you signed in, you click this little icon here. Looks like a little power up. See, them city DAO bids have been coming in lately. I should be entitled to some amount. Okay, right here, rarely received. So they function, Rarible functions as a DAO as well. So as you interact with the platform, you're going to be eligible to claim some of this rarity. So right now I have 1.8 available to claim. I would click claim, and then I have to pay a gas fee, but then that would go into my wallet, and those tokens function as my voting rights for this DAO. And then I can come on here and I can look through and I can say, okay, what's going on? And then I read about whatever proposal it is. They're saying, hey, do we want to go this direction or do we want to go this direction? And I can come on here and I can cast my vote. I haven't read this, so I'm not going to vote or anything because I have no idea what this is about. But I have that right as well. So that's cool. You do get an opportunity to help steer the direction of a company, of an organization. And you don't really have that in the traditional business model, at least to this degree, to this level of intimacy. Let me keep reading the comments. Are you interacting with any of these rebasing DAOs like Olympus DAO, Wonderland, Euphoria, One DAO? I am not. I'm not familiar with any of those. Actually, I've heard of Olympus DAO, but I have not looked into it further. You're in an NFT DAO called Buzzbear Hideout. Haven't heard of that. Yeah, Grown Ups Gambino. Tell me more about that Buzzbear Hideout. What are they like? What's this project? Part of the Peace family. What's up? All right, we're gonna get back into it. I'm sorry, I began off track. Okay, Enigma economy again. So those NFTs, the miners, those function as voting rights, and you can stake them to start earning that passive income via their mining operation. So that's really, really cool. City DAO. I told you I was going to talk about this a little bit more. So this is a DAO based in Wyoming. So this is important because not every state, most states, are not going to legally recognize a DAO just yet. But like I mentioned earlier, Wyoming is, I think it's the only state that's currently legally recognizing a DAO just like they would an LLC. But more and more states are going to get on board as time progresses and people start realizing what this metaverse world is that we're moving into. So they purchase physical land in Wyoming, and NFT holders have voting rights on what that land is going to be used for, how it's going to be divided up, and will have early access to purchasing that land once it's available for sale. So this is another DAO I'm part of. I already mentioned that they were considering buying the Kanye Ranch. Man, that would have been awesome. I really, really would like that. But here we got project ideas. You can come in here, share whatever idea that you may have. And I'll tell you this, there's a whole lot of smart people in these DAO projects, especially something like this. So this could be a fantastic community for y'all to get into. When people are into a DAO project, oftentimes they're a lot more educated than when you're getting into these profile picture and avatar style projects that you see very often nowadays. When people are in DAOs, they're oftentimes very, very smart. Like already, I begin confused in these chats. I'll tell you this, because there's a whole lot of smart people who have fantastic ideas about how to steer this project. Right now, there's been talk about setting up a physical art gallery, and I'm sure that would end up going to a vote as well. And these people often have town hall meetings where we'll listen in and we'll talk about the project and discuss where we want to go, and then we follow up in the chat. Here you can see we have a tab for treasury management. I don't know what the actual contract address is, but we would have access to be able to look inside of the wallet. So this is one of the cool things about the blockchain. You can go on Etherscan and you can look inside of the treasury wallet address. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. If someone responded to him, we probably got a wallet address. Okay, here we go. So Gnosis Safe. This is a multi-sig wallet. Multi-sig meaning multi-signature. So what this means is that the funds can only be utilized if multiple people sign the transaction. So I believe that's going to be the actual team behind the project. Everybody on that team would have to sign a transaction before it's able to be executed. So traditionally, our MetaMask would pop up when we're trying to make a transaction. We hit sign and we good to go. That's just one signature. But with a multi-sig wallet, everybody who is a part of that wallet must sign the transaction. But again, us as token holders with voting rights, we don't get access to actually sign these wallet transactions, because you can imagine if there's a 10,000 unit project and it's distributed across 5,000 people, we can't wait for 5,000 people to come on and sign the transaction. That'd be unreasonable. But for that founding team, once they've received a decision via the snapshot, they can go ahead and make this transaction complete. And the reason why this is set up is so that there can't be one rogue person on the founding team who decides they're going to steal everything inside of the wallet. Instead, everybody on that team has to approve it. So that makes sure everybody's on the same page. So if just one person within this team has a conscience, is not going to let everybody else get screwed over, then we safe. And you can come here and view all the transactions. If you want, we could open this up on Etherscan and look through all of the transactions that has ever happened in history. But again, you can do that right here as well. So this is really cool. We can see what the team is actually doing. We can see if they're listening to what we say to do via the votes. So Gnosis wallet, Gnosis safe. And I believe anybody can set these up, and you and your friends can go ahead and set something up like this so y'all can make group investment decisions. I'm gonna check the comments again. Yeah, family first. I'm surprised that the floor price is as low as it is on the Enigma miners. All right, let me get back to it. So yeah, that's a little bit about CityDAO. Also a very underrated project. And the creator of Ethereum recently wrote an article where he spoke about this project specifically. This is the first project to do something at this scale with physical real estate inside of integrated inside of the world of NFTs. Infinite Wealth Strategies. So 19 Keys has been playing with the idea of offering some type of DAO-like function within IWS. So what would help him is if we as a community can start offering up our own ideas on what we would want to see inside of an IWS DAO if one were to be created. Some ideas is group buys. Can we say, okay, we're going to create this Gnosis wallet where we can, put funds that we raise from token sales, put all these funds in here, and now we can go out, we can buy one of these big NFTs, one of these, multi-million-dollar, $100,000 NFTs without having to front up all that money ourselves. And now we kind of have a stake, and we can make a decision as a group. Okay, we buy in at this price for the NFT project. We buy in that Bored Ape at 46 ETH. Now, months later, the floor price is 100 ETH. Maybe we can put a vote up and say, okay, let's sell that Bored Ape at 100 ETH and distribute those profits amongst the NFT holders, the token holders who made that vote. So it could be that maybe 19 Keys and his Crowns NFT or his Infinite Sign NFT, maybe those function as tokens. I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but we can start offering up these ideas. We can have in-person meetups that you would have to own one of the tokens to get into. We can talk about, hey, how do we want to expand IWS? Do we want a physical facility? Do we want to expand in this way? So you get the idea. Metaverse land, that kind of ties into group buys as well. Maybe we set up a metaverse home base, right? Whether that's bought inside of Somnium Space, Decentraland, Crypto Voxels. We can set something up. We can help design that as a community, and then we can put up votes. Hey, do we like this design better? Do we like this design better? And then we can implement that into our land. And hell, we could decide down the line if we want. Do we want to sell this land? Do we want to rent it out to this person? Do we want to hold this event with this organization? Do we want to start putting up ads so we can collect income for the DAO on this virtual land? There's a whole lot we could do as a DAO. So this is homework for y'all. Start looking more into DAOs. If you already have a good grasp, let us know. Start commenting, start sending messages in the Discord talking about, hey, what would we want to see inside of a DAO? And if you're watching this now, make sure that other people inside of the Discord come to this video and watch it over, because this is important for the entire community. Even if they're not necessarily focused in on NFTs or the metaverse, maybe they're focused on some other stuff within IWS. This is important for us as a whole, for our community as a whole. We need to start considering how we want to have a say in IWS should it turn into a DAO. Again, that's not confirmed. This is just an idea. Let me check the comments again. Do you suggest anyone that wants to make an NFT have a DAO as well? Absolutely not. Debbie, creating yourself a DAO is it's a bigger undertaking than just creating an NFT, because we can go through the lazy minting strategy on Rarible or OpenSea where we just fill in the blanks, and that's how we create an NFT. But if you want to go and create a DAO, there's a lot more that's going to be involved for you. And again, not every project is going to be relevant or need to have a DAO. A lot of projects are creating DAOs just because there's kind of some hype behind it right now. But again, keep in mind, you don't always need to have one. 19 Keys should definitely create the DAO for sure. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna talk with him. I'll talk with him about it. No past funds towards that. Keys should create a DAO. We already have a strong community. We do, and we a smart community too. So I trust our decision making. Let's buy land together and NFTs as a community. Yeah, it'd be cool, and we can start seeing our community wallet start piling up, start increasing the value both with cryptocurrency and with NFTs. And this is really the principle that Keys is always talking about, bringing Black people together to really form these communities and practicing those group economics. So I think this could be really, really cool. Yeah, start sending stuff inside the Discord. Let them know that y'all want a DAO. Let them know that you want to practice some more group economics in this way. Maybe set up one of those Gnosis safe wallets and we can get things going. Have to involve Pops for sure, for sure. Yeah, so do y'all have any questions about DAOs? I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun using this little platform to create this diagram. I did. It's a lot of fun. It's called XCaliDraw. I'm about to start using this more often. But anyways, I want to make sure it was super clear for y'all. Everybody should now know what a DAO is. Y'all should be able to go and explain this to your family. Come Christmas time, start talking, hey fam, let's start operating as a DAO. Let's put a DAO together and we start having group or family decision making through this DAO. Can't nobody be left out of this voting. You got to set up your MetaMask. You got to come. You got to get one of these tokens for our family NFT. Think about that. Y'all could set up family trusts and start integrating that into DAOs. I didn't even think about that till right now. You set up your family trust and then you situate it as a DAO. And now that family unit can move and vote using those NFTs. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so we are probably going to wrap this up. Unless y'all want to throw something in real quick. Let me stop screen sharing. But yeah, thank you for coming and being here. And just keep looking into DAOs. Keep looking into NFTs. This space is moving super, super fast, y'all. Make sure you let me know what you thought of this class. If you learned something from it, what you are excited for. If the DAOs do come into existence for IWS, we got to see. Thank you. Thank you, Torlanda. Thank you. But I'm going to sign off here. Again, thank you all for attending, and make sure that you're reminding other people inside of the different channels in our Discord to come watch this video because it's super relevant to a community as a whole. All right, y'all. I'm going to sign off. Y'all have a good night.